Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a review of Pulsar's X2H Mini. The Mini is the version that I put the most time in on since my size overview video. I've used this every day. I've used it in Overwatch 2, Apex, and Valorant, and I can say that between tracking, flicking, and just steady crosshair placement in tack shooters, the mouse performs absolutely phenomenally. Between its weight balance coating, the optical switches, and overall sensor performance, the mouse is an absolute beast, and I think it's probably one of the most unique small mice, wireless mice, that have released on the market to date. It's been a very long time since I've had a unique back hump mouse. We've seen that from the ZA series from Zowie, and nothing in a form factor, well-performing wireless format. The X2H Mini right now is going to be my #1 recommendation for a small mouse. For me, it beats out the Viper Mini Signature Edition, it beats out the Atlantis Mini, and the X2 Mini, which are probably the mice that I've put the most time on recently in that size category. The mouse most similar to it shape-wise is going to be the MM712, but this mouse is so far ahead of the game compared to the MM712, both in its coating, its weight balance, sensor performance, and optical switches. The Pulsar X2H Mini is the mouse to beat on the market right now. And again, the size is what works for me. If you don't like back humps, I might have to direct you to one of those other recommendations. But for me, that back hump just goes so perfectly into the pocket on the underside of my hand, giving me a stable back booty base to rest the underside of my palm on, get a little bit of palm contact for that extra stability when I want to dig down for that extra control. As far as crosshair placement and tack shooters, as well as tracking very quickly side to side, as well as that inner hand maneuverability for verticality, the mouse handles everything phenomenally, feels amazing, and is an absolute beast. I have already unboxed my X2H Mini, and the main difference between the retail copy and the one that I recently displayed in my shape overview is the right side of the mouse actually does not have text on it on the retail copy. So if you were worried about your ring or pinky finger kind of resting on that text, you don't have to worry about that. And the prototype that I displayed in my video actually was not coated. The retail copy is, and it's a very good coating. It feels like the Bruce Lee version of the mouse, and the same coating on the X2 V2. Moving my prototype to the side and showing you guys the new packaging of the X2H. I think they did a really good job with the packaging, and they always typically do. The packaging has always been really clean. This is, again, a unboxing of the medium version, so you can kind of get a glimpse at what the unboxing experience is like and how everything feels out of the box. And as expected, no glaring concerns, and just that coating when you pick it up out of the box feels really nice. Typical of other Pulsar products, after you take the mouse out, you will have a little box of extras and a packet of several things, including the cable and a few little pamphlets and things like that. And then, of course, your dongle underneath, which does have new text on it to show you guys, reflecting the H2X text there on the dongle. I've got the medium next to the mini out of the box, and just so you guys know, the 4K Hertz dongle is not shipping with this mouse. It does ship separately and will be available for purchase soon. I'm not going to get into the 4K Hertz performance because by the time this is actually available to launch and purchase, the firmware might be 2, 3, 4 versions down the road, so I want to make sure that I'm consistent with how it feels later down the road. In terms of 1000 Hertz performance, both of these mice feel just as good as my best mice, including the Vaxi XC in competitive mode, the G Pro Superglide, as well as my Viper Mini Signature Edition. The optical switches feel extremely good and enjoyable to use in-game, and the hump on both the Mini and the Medium is a significant change from the X2s. You can see that the dimensions are quite different, but the Medium only weighs a few grams more than the Mini. Both are using optical switches, the new blue encoder, and the Huano mechanical switches on the side buttons. Everything here feels very good. The build quality, again, I have no concerns. Getting into just how it feels out of the box, I just have a little bit of post travel on the side buttons, really nothing major. Tiniest bit of side flex on mouse 1 and mouse 2, no switch grinding whatsoever. Minor, almost no pre-travel, and minor post-travel on mouse 1 and mouse 2. There's no creaking, there's no flexing. This, to me, is the entire package. And these to me are two very good mice. And again, very different mice, with what I think the medium attacking more along the lines of the size bracket of those who like a G Pro Superlight, a Vaxi XE, the Asus ROG mouse, whereas the Mini would be more along the lines of an MM712, Viper Mini Signature Edition, an Atlantis Mini, and X2 Mini. Two different markets, and for that reason, I'll have the medium in a separate review. And a mouse that I did not have in my shape comparison video, the Zowie ZA13C. It actually is quite different than the X2H medium, as well as the Mini, drastically different than the Mini. I personally really think a lot of people are going to really enjoy the Mini, especially those who enjoyed the ZA13C. Just keep in mind that the hump is going to feel quite drastically higher on the ZA13C, and you can see how the mouse tapers in, whereas the Mini stays a bit flatter on the sides, as well as the medium, which we'll get into in the full review of the medium. So quite different than the ZA13C, quite smaller feeling than the ZA13C. So keep in mind that you will have a pretty different experience, but one that if you were looking for that back hump and something a little bit smaller than a ZA13C, you might have a very enjoyable experience. Weight on my copy with glass gates, which are heavier, is 53 grams. And to give you guys a little sound test. So guys, that is really going to be it for this one. I don't have much more to add. It's a really nice mouse, a really nice experience in a small form factor, one that works for me performance-wise more than the other small mice that I've shown in this video, and more than the small mice that I've tried to date. I like the back hump. I think it provides a nice bit of lift off on my hand that allows my ring as well as my pinky finger to get a very nice grip on the right side of the mouse, making the mouse not feel too narrow for me, making consistency and comfort really nice. And again, because that mouse stays narrow from the hump in the back of the mouse just fits right into that pocket, that sweet spot in my hand. So when I want to push down with the bottom side of my hand and get extra stability for track heavy games, there's such a wide base for me to get that extra stability. And then if I ever need to kind of swap and hybrid things up and get that extra maneuverability in the inside of my hand, I have the ability to do so because the shape of the mouse allows for it. For me, my experience on this mouse is better than the other small mice that I've tried to date. The comfort, the consistency, it's there. I think it's a unique mouse on the market right now, one that feels extremely good and I think is worth your time and attention. That is it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.